Chef Buck here, and today we're gonna cook up a steak. You know, this is just a super simple steak recipe. I got 2 5-ounce cuts of top sirloin. This is American style Kobe beef. Kobe, that's I think that's Japanese for expensive, I believe. But this here is top sirloin. It kind of looks like a filet. This is kind of like a cheap version of a filet. Super duper nice little cut of steak. You know, my favorite is a ribeye because I like all the fat, you know, and the juiciness. I don't like a filet because I'm a snob, maybe. Or I'm too cheap, but it never has enough fat in it for me. And this here, it's got a little marbling in here, so this might be okay. Maybe I'll throw some butter on here if I need to. But we're gonna cook it up. Super simple, super short cooking time. These are some dinky doos, but they're kind of thick. You know, it's about 1 inch thick, maybe just a hair over 1 inch thick. So we're gonna sear them in a skillet and then cook them in the oven for just a few minutes. But it's not gonna take long because we're not gonna overcook this steak. You know, because that's a waste. And we're not really gonna season it too much, just a wee little bit with a little bit of salt. Some nice big chunks of salt. You know, I wish I had some nice big chunks of pepper, but I don't have any damn peppercorns to grind up, so I'm going to have to use this here sissy pepper. But I'm going to go ahead and do both sides, and I'm pretty generous with the salt and pepper. And you know, you don't have to be as generous, but it's just adds great flavor to the meat. And these steaks, I've had these steaks sitting out, golly, probably for about 45 minutes, maybe longer than that, because they're thick, you know, and you don't want to take it right out of the fridge. You know, you want it to be room temperature. But my skillet is nice and hot. Good. Throw me a little bit of oil in there, medium-high heat. Gonna make a nice sizzling sound when I put it on here. Boom, that's what you want it to do. Now we're going to leave it alone for just a couple of minutes and let it sear.
But you already have the oven preheated.
Oh yeah, I got my oven going. My oven is heated at 500 degrees because we're going to sear it. You know, we're going to boom, boom, get a nice sear on each side, seal those juices in, give it a nice color, a nice flavor, and then we're going to finish it off in the oven because they're thick. You know, so I don't want to cook it the whole time on the oven, so that it overcooks on the outside and isn't cooked inside. Although it ain't gonna be super duper cooked inside anyway, because I like my steak red. Like I like my women.
What?
Alright, it's been a couple of minutes. Look at that nice sear on there. Flip it over, you know, and use a pair of tongs. You know, don't use a fork. It's not going to be the end of the world if you use a fork. But tongs are nice because we're not poking holes in our steak and releasing the juices. You know, because we're searing it to seal those juices in there. So if you turn it with a fork, then boom, you forked up. Alright, so we did 2 minutes on one side, about 1 minute on the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the oven. Boom, already heated up, got it at 500 degrees. Just going to throw it in there for probably about, boom, 3 minutes, and then we'll check it out and see how it's doing.
Woohoo!
Because we're hungry, we ain't got time to fool around. Alrighty, it's been going for about 2 minutes. We're going to go ahead and turn it over. Let it go for 1 more minute. And I think that's going to be plenty. I'm doing this hot. I'm doing it hot and fast and furious.
Well, it's a beautiful cut of meat.
Vin Diesel likes his steak.
I bet he doesn't eat meat.
Huh? Vin Diesel, that guy's all muscle. You don't get muscles without eating meat.
Okay.
I mean, you can tell I'm die-hard carnivore. We don't eat much meat, really. We eat meat, what, maybe twice a week? Meat's good, but you know, you don't need a lot lot of meat. Look what we got going on here. While our thing's going there, boom, we're steaming up our broccoli because we're all about the health. And I think that's going to be it. I think this is going to be it. We're going to let it go.
Let them rest. Yeah, I say take them off so they can rest.
Yep. All right, now we're going to go ahead and let it rest outside the skillet because it's still going to continue to cook because it's still hot inside, so that temperature's still going. You know, but we're going to let them sit for about 5 minutes and rest because you don't want to poke it and you don't want to slice it, you know, right away because all those juices will run away. So go ahead and give it a few minutes to rest and then we'll be ready to eat. And that's it, man. Easy to cook a steak. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes resting. We got some onions seared up here and our broccoli. And we got some juices coming out of here. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and pour that on there. Boom. And these gonna be very red inside. Look at that. See how my finger bounces on there? That's got a lot of give. Now this one here is slightly thinner. But you know, just cook it, press on it. The firmer it gets, the more done it is. If it feels like my head, then it's well done.
Well, part of it's the cut of the meat.
If it feels very soft, like my arm, then it's rare. Now these are gonna be kind of red inside, but that's how we like them. But you know, if you want it cooked more, let's get over here so the light's good and people can see how handsome I am. If people want it cooked more, if you want it cooked more, then you just leave it in the oven more.
Why are you going this way?
Alrighty, but let's see. I'm gonna give camera girl the piece that's a little more well done. Boom, boom. So nice and pink inside. There's a lot of red in there because I rested it. You know, we didn't lose a lot of the juice.
You like the juice?
But that's good. But you want it, ideally, you want a steak to be rare to medium rare. You know, now oh, I gotta give you the first bite. I'll let you do well, here. I'll be a gentleman. Boom.
You can keep talking.
This here's the steak cam. Dun dun dun. Okay, I got it lined up. All right. Boom boom. That's it. Just salt, pepper, and heat. You know, and you can make a great steak. Here, let's finish this up. You hold the camera, girl. Let me get my damn bite. Looks muy fantastico. Smells delicioso. You know, a nice steak dinner. You know, everybody deserves that. You know, we paid a little bit more for these steaks. You know, these are like American Kobe beef. But you know, as far as steak goes, you get what you pay for the most part. You know, you want to get a filet. I'm not a filet guy, but I like buying ribeyes. You know, get a ribeye or a New York strip or something. You know, if your steak is like $9 a pound or $11 a pound or something, you know, it costs a little bit. But if you're just gonna make a simple steak, you know, cook it and serve it plain, you know, you want a nice cut of meat. You know, you get the cheapest. You know, if you don't like eating steak, it's probably because you've always been buying whatever's cheapest. You know, a lot of steaks aren't ideal. I mean, it can be good, but your jaw is probably going to get a workout. But anyway, we're too busy talking. We got a steak dinner. We can't afford to talk. We got to eat. So there you have it. You know, go ahead and cook you up a steak. You know, give this recipe a try. Let us know what you think, and bon appetit. You know, if you want to print this recipe, you know, I'm going to have the recipe down below, or you can go to myfoodchannel.com if you want to print out the recipe. Or any of the recipes on the channel. You know, go to that website, print it out, you know, share it, like it, thumbs it up, be best friends with this video. You know, don't overcook your steak like we overcooked this broccoli.
What are you talking about? We're just gonna put a little bit of butter on it. Yeah. Butter solves all, or cheese.
Now it's getting cold. Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
we gotta go.
That's it. Thanks for watching.